Welcome to the House of Gems YouTube channel, your go-to channel for all things creative and sparkly. Today we're going to be making these awesome Shoreline Reef earrings. These earrings are super simple and will definitely test your creativity. Let's get started. Okay, so to make these Reef Shoreline earrings, you are going to need the following items. Sterling silver round wire, this is 24 gauge, 2mm African white heart glass rondelle beads, in orange, same beads, but these ones are 4mm. I chose to complement it with these bronze African Masai glass seed beads, and our center bar is going to have these white chalk glass beads. The best part of this project is the array of options and colors that will really test your creativity with these African chevron beads. When I first started this project, what I did was just dump these beads out and start looking for colors that caught my eye. I chose to do orange, a light orange, and hues of blue, including turquoise. So that's just kind of what caught my eye. So how I did it is I just dumped it out into this tray, which is the funnest part. So for this project, we're going to use loop wire bending pliers, bent tip pliers. I like to use this one-step looper and these cutters. And all of these items can be found at House of Gems. So every last one of them. For this centerpiece, I have this nice round turquoise one, so make sure to grab one of those so that you can at least match the center. And then let's see, what else do we have? This lovely orange multi-toned one. It's almost a yellow, but I would say it's more of like a tangerine color, so maybe even lighter than that, but I want to definitely keep it cohesive as much as possible while still giving it a variety of different tones. It doesn't have to match perfectly. And just like I'm doing right now, you can pretty much choose any color, hue, or scheme that you'd like to go with. These African beads are wonderful to work with. I personally like working with them because these beads empower and employ a lot of women in Africa, mostly Kenya and Tanzania. So I do appreciate them. I think they're beautiful and I love working with them. I also like the creativity factor in having the different designs to choose from to build your beautiful earrings or whatever you should choose to build with these beads. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these beads. You do the same and we'll get started. Okay, now that we have a nice selection of beads, it's time to build wire for the main hoop right here. So by measuring out this wire, so I chose to cut it at 11 on each side, and it can be off a little bit. You're going to twist the end and cut it anyways. These are actually a little bit on the larger side, so if you want smaller earrings, you can cut it smaller and add less beads. So let's give that a quick trim. Perfect. So our center bead goes first. And then we'll go ahead and add the same order as these are on this one, just to keep some of it cohesive since the rest of it's going to be scattered in a variety. So I chose to put one of each on each side. We are going to put 3 of these small orange ones here. Perfect, and 3 more. Great. And then after that, you can kind of scatter these in any type of way that you'd like. Okay, let's take a look. And we are basically even. It looks nice. Add these bronze beads next. Perfect. So we're going to leave this as is for now, and we're going to go ahead and build our center bar. The center bar bead has 2 holes, so you are going to need to take the wire and cut 2 pieces off. We have 1, and then I'm just going to cut the same size piece, and 2. So to put the beads on, it's really simple. Hold it about that far apart, grab your first bead, and place the wires through the holes. Excellent, looks great. And then your next bead, make sure that you go in the pattern where you have them perfectly aligned. So one will be up, the next will be down. Don't be afraid to take a break and lay it down with your hoop that you have made so far and figure out how many you're going to need. Oh yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to let off this bottom loop and I'm going to wrap the ends of these around one another. So once you get your initial twist, you can grip on there and just twist it around one another like this. You want to cinch it down a little just to make sure, oops, that it's tight. I'm really pushing these down because I want them to be, I want the wire to be tight through it. Perfect. This one's much easier, I think, because the other one's done already. So there's more of a tension in the beads. So now that we have that done, we need to get ready to attach them here. So I just brought mine together and then trimmed off the tips of the shorter one. And so I'm going to trim this one here. Perfect. If you're nervous about these being sharp, you can take a regular nail file and just file them down. The file is strong enough to make these less sharp. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and use the one-step looper, one of my favorite tools that there is for jewelry making. We're going to get it right there next to it and make our loop. Perfect. I forgot to tell you that when making your loop, you want to make sure that the loop is facing upwards. So I didn't do that and I'm going to have to fix it. So just to be warned, you want your loop to be facing upwards so that you can have this slide down on your earring and face forward. Okay, let's do the last part. So again, you want your loop upwards. So when you make your loop, if you're using a one-step looper, that is, because you can use just regular loop pliers, those work perfectly as well. You're going to slide it through, good, and then you're going to twist it this way, and cut and bend, good, and we're going to tighten that because again, we have open wires here that we can just slide these onto. Perfect. Okay, so this is when we add our pretty center bar to our hoop. And now we can finish building the rest of our earring. Okay, so for the rest of this earring, I added the African White Heart glass rondelle beads. So I did 3 of the 4mm and I think I did about 15 of the 2mm. Okay, so now that you have completed the 15 on each side and you have your bar on, your earrings are almost done. This last part is extremely simple. You're going to do the same thing you did with your center bar, and you're going to crisscross your wires and wrap them around one another. So one can end up wrapping around the other, which is totally fine. You can cinch it down like this and wrap it a little tighter if you'd like. I want to make sure that we reach the same length as the other one. Good, so I'm just kind of wrapping that around just like that. I'm going to fix the shape because I did put some tension in some places that gave it a little bit of a different shape than I had it before. There we go. Nice and even. And we have our wire earrings. So now you will trim this piece. Take your one-step looper. Again, you can file that down with a regular nail file if you'd like. And we want our earrings to look like this from a front view. So you want your loop to go sideways on this. So I'm just going to stick it in like this. And let this do the work for me. Take my loop pliers, finish my loop. But before I close it, I want to add it onto my ear hook. Excellent. We're going to close this. And we are done. Shoreline Reef Hook Earrings.